So we're going to make a sweet pastry. Now you would have made a sweet pastry earlier on, so this is another way to do it. We would have done it on the machine, I think, either in the RoboCube or the mixer. If you're doing it in the mixer, you would do it with the paddle. If you're doing it in the RoboCube, it's very fast, keeps it quite cold, which is important. Now we're going to make it by hand because we've got nothing else to use here. So put my flour in here, as per the recipe, and icing sugar, and diced cold butter. Very important with this one, everything remains very cold. So we're kind of mimicking what the machine does. In the machine we would have used the paddle, and we would have put these ingredients in the machine and basically rubbed it together. This is called the rubbing in method. So we're going to get our hands and we're going to rub the fat through the flour and icing sugar. What I'm trying to do is get rid of all the big chunks of butter, just so we have an even texture all the way through. Somewhat like breadcrumbs or almond meal should look like at the end. Getting rid of all the patches of butter. Nearly there now. So I've just got a few more bits of butter that I've got to get through. And then we're ready to make the dough. What's important with this is that once we put the egg in, the moisture goes in and we stop mixing straight away because we don't want to develop the gluten. When we're making bread, we want strong dough to hold the fermentation bubbles. When we're making pastry, we don't want to develop the gluten, we want it short. Short's that sort of soft, crumbly texture. So if you can see that, all the big pieces of butter have gone, we've been dispersed throughout. Last few out. I'm going to add in the egg. So one egg, I'm just going to beat it lightly. Just to make it fluid. Make a little well, add the egg in. And I just want to bring it together. Once the dough comes together in one lump like that, it needs to rest. Because I've warmed it up a little bit with my hands, with the mixing, and because the gluten's somewhat active in there, it needs to go in the fridge and rest. It needs to cool down a bit. If I start to roll it out now, it's going to be too warm, too soft. It's going to tear easily. So once I've got to that stage, it's wrapped up in cling film. Airtight, wrap in the fridge for a minimum 30 minutes, if possible 1 hour. The tart cases are resting. I'm going to make the frangipane filling. So frangipane is an almond cream. It's used for many things, but in this case it's the filling for our Bakewell Tart. So what I've got here is I've got soft butter. Very important we use soft butter. So I've taken this out of the fridge quite a long time ago. It's soft enough to work with, but if you haven't, put it on a low temperature in the microwave to soften it up. Don't try and do this with cold butter, it wouldn't work. Again, ideally this is done with a mixer, with a paddle. We're going to do a creaming method. We're going to do it by hand, for those of you that don't have a mixer. So I'm going to put in here butter and sugar. What we're trying to do is get somewhere light, pale colour. Ideally, you do this on a machine, but it can be done by hand. Once I've got it mixed, I'm going to put the whisk in there. If we had this on the machine, obviously we'd have it a lot whiter and a lot paler, but it's going to be okay working like this. It's about as good as I can get it by hand. I'm going to drop in eggs. So eggs, we're going to add an egg, mix in, add an egg, mix in. One by one. So one egg goes in. Mix it by hand. Again, if you have the machine, you use the paddle for this stage. Once one egg is incorporated, then we can add the next one. Again, mix this one so it's fully mixed in. Front leg. So once you've got everything mixed in together there, it's time to fold in the almond meal. So I'm going to put in the almond meal. also the flour. A little touch of vanilla essence as well. That's frangipane ready to go. I'm going to go and get the tart bases now. We're going to fill them. Sweet pastry has rested. We can go ahead and line the Bakewell Tart. We're going to use these alfoil tins. These will have come with you in your box today. Take out a pastry. You can see it's quite hard. And what I want to do, I want to take about a quarter of this away. I'm going to use that later on to top the tart with. So wrap that back up in the film. And this we're going to give a very quick, very fast, light massage, just to make sure the pastry is workable, but we don't want to heat it up. So I'm just giving it a massage. It's going to help it to not crack when we roll it out. And because I want to finish with a round disc, I'm going to start with a sort of roundish shape around this ball. And I'm going to start to just lightly dust the bench. It's very important that this is rested long enough. Also very important that it's cold. I'm going to work fairly quickly with it, just using our hands to pin it out and moving it quite frequently. Making sure I'm constantly putting something on the bottom and something on the top, but not too much. Very even pressure. Very important that we don't try and push it too far. If you push it too far, it will start to crack. So we just let it go as far as it wants to. Have a little feel for it. At the same time, using enough pressure that it's working out and staying quite cold. As it starts to get large, it's going to become increasingly hard to handle. I'm going to counter that. What we're going to do is we're going to start rolling it up on the pin, the bigger the piece of pastry gets. So what I'm going to do now, instead of trying to lift it, I'm going to roll it up on the rolling pin, turn it, and then flour the surface, roll it back down. If I've got any little cracks like that, now's the time just to push them together. Again, a bit of flour, I'm going to roll it up on the rolling pin. Turn it 90 degrees, roll it on the pin. It saves me having to pick it up. It's quite brittle, it will crack if you try and lift it. We're nearly at the point where we want to stop. Getting about 2 to 3 mils thick. Just have a quick look and make sure that we're going to have enough coverage to get over our tart, which we will. Give it a light trim now. It's not the final trim, I'm going to go back and trim it again once it's in the case. Push back any little cracks here. And we're going to roll the pastry up on the rolling pin. Move the case in front of us. Because this is so light, they move quite quickly. You've got to keep one hand here just to keep it in place. Let the pastry just fall off the pin. Now, at this point, don't go forcing it in because it will crack. Just lift it and gently, very gently, ease it into the corner. Really at this point I don't want to be using my hands too much because my hands are warm. This pastry over here is cold, it's just some trimmings I've got. I'm going to just dip them into some flour and use this piece of pastry to force the corner of the pastry into the tin. And then I'm going to trim. Just running my knife parallel to the edge of the tin. And then I'm just going to give it a little push up, just to get it above the level as well, before I put it back in the fridge. This pastry now has to go to the fridge for a little rest. If you roll out pastry straight away and then bake it, what will happen is it will contract because it's active, the gluten is active, it's going to pull everything back in. So if you've ever baked something, put a biscuit in the oven and it's shrunk back, or a tart case has shrunk back on itself, it's because it needs to rest before it bakes. This one's going to go into the fridge now for about 10 to 15 minutes while we make the frangipan. But before we do that, we're going to use this pastry here to roll out some little strips, which is going to go on top of the tart. So, once again, a little soften up with your hands. Because we want to make strips for this, we don't want to have so much a circle, but we want to start with a long, quite thin piece. This is the quarter that we took off before we rolled. This is going to be lattice on the top of this tart, so we make sure it's got the right width. Once we get the width right, we can roll it out sideways to see how much strips we can get. Get a small piece of silicone paper. We're just going to pop this on the tray with the other pastry, goes in the fridge. It's going to help us put the tart together and it comes out. Just pour it. Okay, so we've got our tart case rolled out earlier with our spare piece of pastry, which is going to lattice the top. We've got the frangipan that I just made. What I've got here is some raspberry jam, and I've just softened a little bit on the stove. It's not hot, it's just a little bit warm, just so it's a little bit fluid. What you don't want to do is have hot melting jam going on. It's going to melt. It's about 40% butter and 30% butter. It's going to melt the pastry. So we just want to just apply just so we can work it. I'm just going to spread it down the base. You won't see this at the top, you just see it at the base when we go into it. Just a thin layer at the bottom. Right, and then we're going to work the frangipan in there. Now, maybe a fraction too much what we've got here. We'll have a look. You don't want to have it overflowing, but you do want it quite full. It will rise a little bit in the oven. So we'll use a plastic scraper just to work it in. Want it around about level with the edges of the pastry. It will level out as it goes in the oven as well. It will melt a little bit and find its own way, so don't worry if it looks a little messy on the top. I think I've used about 80% of it. If you had some pastry left over, you could make some small tarts or tartlets like this. Petty fours or afternoon tea tarts. You don't want to fill it up much more than that. It's about the right size. So then I take my pastry that I cut before. This is just remember I took a quarter piece off earlier and I just set it aside and at the end rolled it out into sheets. Then I was just cut it into strips. What I'm going to do is just lattice top of this. So I'm just taking it to the edge, trim it once they're all on. First one way, then the other. If you're a bit short on pastry, as I'm going to be, you can just patch it up a little bit. So now what I'm going to do, just trim the edges here. Nothing left to do, just to give that a little egg wash and pop it into a 170-degree oven. I'm just using the side of the brush, so all the brush, but just brushing sideways along the pastry. There's no need to brush the frangipane at all. First one way. Put that down in my 180-degree oven. About 35 to 40 minutes, so it's just cooked. Okay, the timer's just gone off for the Bakewell Tart. I think it's ready. I've been checking it. Oh yeah. What we're really checking for here, I mean the colour is good too, but just checking this is set. So if this is wobbling a bit, it's like it's liquid inside, then it still needs to cook a bit longer. We need to have this completely cooked. But it's firm. You can see I'm just wiggling it, no movement. We've had a little bit of jam come out the side, but we don't mind that. The last thing we're going to do is just glaze it, get a bit of sheen on the top. So we've got some apricot jam here. It's melted. I'm just going to get a quick whisk. I just want to make sure it's fluid all the way through, no lumps in there. And in this bowl here I've got some just finely chopped pistachio nuts. You don't have to use these, it's just a little bit of extra garnish, extra decoration. So, what we're going to do here is just brush a little using the pastry brush to pick up the jam. Just let it fall. Brushing towards the middle, not towards the outside, so we don't get anything up the middle. Brushing up from the outside. Instead of moving around it, I'm just moving the case. So I'm brushing from the rim upwards. The idea of this is to give us some extra taste and sweetness, but also to give it a shine and a sheen on gloss. You could use flan gel, but apricot jam's got a bit better flavour to it. It's the issue. And make sure there's no empty crevices here, so there's a little space in here with no glaze in it. Patch that up. Patch it up. Filling any gaps. Happy with that. I'm just going to sprinkle on some, while the jam's still warm, it's going to have the pistachios just stick to it. Just for a little bit of colour and flavour. And that's it done. That's the Bakewell Tart.